Hi, thanks for tuning in. My name's Kathy Watson. I'm a pelvic floor physiotherapist. I have a background in fitness. I used to teach fitness classes, group fitness classes, personal training, and then delved into the Pilates world. And I did that for many, many years. And then that's why I really want to bring pelvic floor education and exercises into the fitness and Pilates environments. I think that's where it'd be a great environment where it needs to belong. We do all sorts of other classes there with arthritis and Parkinson's and all sorts of classes. Pelvic floor needs to be in there as well. So this first video is geared towards you, the fitness teachers, the Pilates teachers. And this first video is really going to focus on women who are having weak pelvic floor muscles. So they may talk about leaking, they may talk about stress urinary incontinence, but it's really about the weaker pelvic floor muscles. I think it's a great start in the fitness and Pilates environments. So what is this workshop going to include? It has the first 3 segments. It'll have videos and PDF text so you can easily print them out. And the first 3 segments are going to be anatomy. So it's going to have lots of great pictures you can print out and follow along when you're watching the videos. It's going to look at pelvic floor anatomy a little bit more closely, and so you can help familiarize you with the muscles and how they look on the inside of the pelvis. And then it's going to look at functions of the pelvic floor. It's going to look at prevalence and risk factors. So who's more prone, or who's going to maybe have more issues with their pelvic floor, having a weaker pelvic floor. And it's going to allow you to have some stats in your mind so that when you're talking to your clients, you can give them some numbers about how huge of a problem this is. How many women are out there that have issues and they need more help. And then the next 7 segments are going to be more of a practical nature. So it'll start with posture, and we're going to look at posture a little differently. It's going to allow you to give your clients some tips so that when they're not, you're not right there with them, they have things to work on as well throughout their day. And then we're going to follow that up with breathing and look at the interaction between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor and how much of a role those play together. Then we'll look at helping your client find their pelvic floor muscles. And some of those will be some tips that you'll work with your client in the studio, and some will be more again at home. Followed with transverse abs. We have to make sure that they're activating well and they're not overusing oblique muscles or glutes or abdominal muscles, making sure that those transverse abs are actually firing. And then we're going to blend everything together, because even though all those pieces need to work in isolation, we know ultimately they need to work together as well to help support each other. Then we'll look at some exercises. So there's going to be about 10 different exercises, and you can easily, once you see them, you can figure out other ways as well in your own studio with equipment you have to modify or add to the exercises. Guidelines are going to be given as well, specific for pelvic floor, because a lot of these guidelines you'll be very familiar with, but everything's gonna relate back to pelvic floor, and it gives you a starting point. How will you start your clients rebuilding their pelvic floor muscles? And then at the end, it's all about integration. So I don't want to give you all this great information and then send you off on your own wondering how are you gonna blend this into your studio. If this is really new in your studio or gym, how are you gonna blend it? So I give lots of different ideas on that. So I hope you tune in, check out the workshop. If you ever have any questions, you can always email me. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And join me and become one more person, one more place, one more studio, one more gym that can help women rebuild their pelvic floors when they're weaker and be more accessible for all the many, many, many women out there who are suffering silently.